Hello there, I'm Richie and you're watching IG Critic. Video games are chock-a-block with mighty heroes who uphold the principles of virtue and valour. Yet, every so often, you have a run-in with a character who is a smidgen less than honest. They worm their way into your group, pretend to be your closest friend, and as soon as your back is turned... Beware spoilers ahead for these games as we present 6 of video games' most despicable, dirty double-crossers. Number 6, Ratbag from the Shadow of Mordor. Ratbag's greatest wish is to become a renowned war chief of his race. But sadly, swordplay, archery, and bravery have never been his forte. In a land as dark as Mordor, small wonder it's every Uruk for himself, where strength and self-interest are the only means of survival. Trust is hard to come by in a place where diplomacy is decided by who has the biggest biceps. So when the Gravewalker happens by, Ratbag seizes the opportunity to strike a bargain.
And how does this help me?
A backstabbing bodyguard? I'll take care of one of the war chiefs for you.
If there's one thing Ratbag does know well, it's the hierarchy of the Orc army and how to get their attention. Talion's aid in climbing the ladder of Orc respect, for information and access to the other war chiefs. In his pursuit for power, fame and glory, he betrays his own kind, winningly sacrificing dozens of his kinsmen to further his own end. Considering how well they treat him though, I wouldn't lose any sleep over it either. Despite his dodgy dealings, he keeps his word and helps Talion ferret out his foes.
Oh, don't you worry. War Chief Ratbag will make sure nobody gets in the way of your dirty schemes.
So there is some honour among thieves. Number 5, Havelock from Dishonored. The city of Dunwall is as dirty as it gets, and I'm not just talking about the rat plague infested sewers. The one thing more sickening than the disease is the depths of political corruption. Almost anyone will do anything to advance their position and seize the throne. Take Havelock and the Loyalists. They ally with Corvo, framed by the Overseer who arranged the assassination of the Empress, and break him loose to seek his revenge. Once Corvo has laid claim to his pound of flesh and laid waste to the selfish, self-named ruler of the Empire, essentially doing all the dirty work, the Loyalists betray him in their turn. Poisoning him, they plan to leave him for dead and seize rule themselves by imposing their will on young Emily, daughter of the Empress and rightful heir to the throne. All this to cover up their black hands and obscure the truth of their mischievous deeds. Topping the bill, Havelock murders his own associates to cover up his bloody trail of terrible exploits. See, this is why I never dabble in politics. Number 4, Wheatley from Portal 2. Well, here we are again. It's always such a pleasure. We all remember how we tried to kill her twice. Yes, GLaDOS may be a tyrannical, threatening, mostly snarky artificial intelligence, but at least she's honest about it. Wheatley, on the other hand, took many by surprise. From the very start of Portal 2, he does everything he can to keep you alive and navigate you through the gauntlet of test chambers. To the best of his ability, anyway.
I found some bird eggs up here. Just dropped them into the door mechanism. Shut it right down. Bird!
Using your wits and the ever-handy portal gun, GLaDOS is disposed of, and Wheatley installed in her place as the master control node for all Aperture Science labs. Victory at last, with escape so tantalizingly close. Then Wheatley, with the first taste of power coursing through his circuits, goes a little loopy. Then deranged. Then loses himself entirely in delusions of grandeur. In one fell swoop, he goes from being your cool, quirky companion to an insane, corrupted, megalomaniacal machine who lets the whole facility slide into chaos while bent on your demise. And I still haven't had any cake!
Through you, I am born.
Number 3, The Darkness. Upon his 21st birthday, Jackie Estacado is set upon by his Uncle Paulie, the mafia boss's thugs, in an attempted whacking, due to a financial failure on Jackie's part. Also on Jackie's 21st birthday, he comes of age and inherits the darkness, an ancient natural force of primeval power. You feel almost invincible from the shadows, taking apart an army of scum single-handed. summoning darklings, mini black holes, and some nasty heart-ingesting tentacles, the very night itself is your plaything. Using your nocturnal powers, it seems Jackie is unstoppable. Until the darkness decides to give him a small reminder about who is really in charge of who.
That's your puppet. Now watch this.
Can we say we're surprised? How trustworthy can something named the Darkness really be? When Jenny, Jackie's childhood sweetheart and the only light in his life, is kidnapped by his uncle, Jackie's power turns against him at the pivotal moment of rescue and is forced to helplessly watch as Jenny's life is snuffed out forever.
So now, I take from you.
Jackie, this is not your fault.
Number 2, Kenny from South Park, The Stick of Truth. Come rain or shine, whenever something epic goes down in the town of South Park, we all know who's going to be in the thick of it. The Stick of Truth is a game within a game, the kids taking sides to battle for ownership of the stick, for whoever controls the stick controls the universe. It's an RPG, fantasy, sci-fi, comedy adventure that makes its own rules and breaks them. In true Parker Stone fashion, playtime escalates to ridiculous highs, resulting in actual alien invasions, underpants gnomes, and even Nazi zombies. Friends should band together in times of crisis, and band they do. Yet at the crucial moment of victory, you are betrayed by none other than Princess Kenny. The stick now in government hands, it only goes downhill as Kenny empowers him or herself with alien zombie goo toxin, transforming into
Nazi zombie Princess Kenny!
Daunting and hilarious. Betrayal has never caused more comedic turmoil, nor a unicorn look more badass. Number 1, Dr. Angus Bumby and Alice, Madness Returns. It has to be said, Alice hasn't proven herself to be the most stable of minds, her past marred by tragedy and fire. Who better to save her from herself than a friendly psychiatrist, particularly one who specialises in aiding bereft children, accepting them into his home, promising them a brighter future by burying the troubles of their past in the clouds of forgetfulness. You can always trust a doctor. Usually. On Alice's journey through a ruined wonderland, she uncovers her own hidden truths, realities that no one would want to remember. Not only did Dr. Angus Bumby set the fire that killed her family, it turns out he is wiping the minds of his young charges in order to sell them into a life of sexual slavery. And the whole time, Alice has been letting him crawl into her mind, wrecking Wonderland, pulling on the strings, and maliciously derailing her train of thought. Literally, it makes the skin crawl, but I can happily say he gets what's coming to him in the end. Atrocious acts, most devious, dastardly and detestable. Which characters drove you crazy with criminal acts? What vengeful villain blighted your day with a baneful backstabbing? Let us know in the comments below. Click the like button to prove that you are a good gamer and positive player, and subscribe for more nefarious happenstances. Don't forget you can check out our other videos right here on IG Critic. Thanks for watching.